The Farewell is written and directed by Lulu Wang and stars Awkwafina as Billy, an aspiring writer, and the film follows Billy and her family as they fly to China for a family gathering, though there is a real reason for the family gathering than what they actually label it as. Billy learns through her parents that her grandmother is dying of terminal lung cancer and will likely not have long to live. So, as is custom in the Chinese culture, the family is choosing to keep the news from her grandmother, which distresses Billy, and the family gathering is really a smokescreen in order for the entire family to spend time with her before she passes. I'll be honest, I didn't have too much of a hankering to see this movie initially, especially because I haven't really cared much for Awkwafina. I don't think she's very funny, and she's mostly just an annoyance in every movie that I've seen her in. And also, the trailers were fine, but nothing to really get my attention. But the reception out of the Sundance Film Festival was really good, so there was no reason for me to not want to see this movie. It was as simple as the main concept intrigued me overall, especially if this is a part of a culture that I don't fully understand, so that's what got me out of the house to see The Farewell. I wanted to get more insight into a culture that I don't understand, and I looked at it as a learning experience. Now, before I get into my thoughts on the film, I'm going to throw out my normal disclaimer for all of those of the uninitiated. So the way that I break down my thoughts is I do a pro and con list. It just helps me compartmentalize the good and the bad in my opinion, and hopefully makes it easier for you guys as well, but mostly it's for me. And while I try to keep the sections separate, there are times where I will tie them together, either because I can make them work or they are intrinsically tied, so I take advantage of that as much as I can. Okay, there's your disclaimer. Let's go ahead and get into my review of The Farewell.
What's wrong, Dad? Please tell me.
Minan is dying.
She doesn't know, so you can't say anything. The family thinks it's better not to tell her.
Why is that better?
Chinese people have saying, when people get cancer, they die.
Really 啊？
咋啦？咋不说话呢？
I want to believe that's a good thing.
因为生活呀，不光是你去做什么，更是你如何去做。
So this setup is going to be a little topsy-turvy here this time, but as I had a feeling about, the concepts and ideas that the film brought up were all very relevant, and The Farewell is a really good setup to a premise. The film clearly had something to say, but unfortunately, very, very unfortunately, the film seemed to have said everything that it really needed to say within the first 30 minutes, and the rest of the film is just it repeating itself multiple times. It didn't feel as dramatic as it could have been, and it wasn't as impactful for me as the first 30 minutes had made it seem like it would be in the long run. And so the film feels very surface level with its themes, and I really think that Lulu Wang could have either gone deeper with the themes or just made The Farewell a short film to show on the on the festival circuit, and maybe see if it could get a short film nomination at the Oscars. I had a brain fart for a second. But anyway, and this is because the film's pacing drops almost drastically once that first half hour is done. It's not a very long movie, but the lack of substance makes it drag out a bit. The film was also structured strangely, and I'm not referring to a writing standpoint, but more of a technical standpoint. There wasn't anything particularly special about much of the film, even in the cinematography side, but occasionally there'd be scenes where something interesting is done, but it feels like it was meant for an entirely different movie, thus breaking my immersion. While Awkwafina does give a performance that I found pretty enjoyable, I don't agree that it's Oscar-worthy or anything, that it's a tour de force. It's a simple performance that was pretty good, and the other characters' performances were also good, and while they weren't delved into deeply, they were all developed enough, to where we can understand who they are as people, and the grandmother was definitely one of the better characters, given an extremely sweet disposition. There are definitely some standout scenes throughout the film, including one where a family member compares American culture and Chinese culture, and it really makes you think about which one is better in regards to how they view the idea of death. And scenes like that helped reinvigorate my interest in the film, but sadly they didn't last too long or long enough to really get me on the side of liking the film overall, because in the end I was really disappointed with the farewell. I got what I wanted out of it, which was an insight into a culture that I wasn't really familiar with, so that's good, but aside from that, it wasn't a very memorable movie, but everyone else I've talked to who's seen it, and many other critics that I pay attention to, they love it, so go check it out if it interests you. Hey guys, I just wanted to say thank you for watching this video. In a few seconds, we'll have some buttons and stuff pop up. Click on my channel icon to subscribe to the channel and continue your much appreciated support, and you can also check out a couple of other videos on the channel as well, namely the most recently uploaded, which will be on the left side, and then the other one will be a video that's picked at random by a YouTube algorithm that'll be over on the right. So anyway, farewell until the next video, all of you casual moviegoers and movie fans alike, and keep on being awesome.